Welcome back, everybody, to Baruch College for Game 2 of our doubleheader. It's a pair of 1-2 teams, Dyckman and X-Men. Joining me on the commentary for game number 2 is the wonderfully talented Patrick McCormick. And we are getting ready for tip-off. It's about 17 seconds away from right now. We'll have basketball, Patrick. Now, in the first game, we saw the team that won that double overtime crazy game last Tuesday, which was Primetime, who lost to Big Apple basketball in the first game. Now in the second game, we see the team that lost that game last week, which is Dyckman in orange, 1-2 as we said, looking to get back to 500 with a win here tonight.
Yeah, Dyckman, tough loss. There were 1.3 seconds to win in that game in regulation, and big-time shots didn't happen for them
as well.
Yeah, so both teams looking to get to 500. It's so tight in the standings. If they could get that win today, it brings it so much closer in the middle to get to the top 4 for the playoffs.
As we also talked about in game number 1, point differential, something that could play a part come playoff time with who gets in, who gets out, but nonetheless, obviously wins are just what's important here. So it's Dyckman in orange, and it's X-Men in the black. And Dyckman comes out shooting, it comes out hitting. It's John Holland hitting the three-pointer, and now playing defense big time right away. Holland's on the Celtics roster. He was at the end of last season. The Fordham Prep product hits a 3 the first time down, gets a steal, hits a 3 again. 6 points in the first 30 seconds, all by the Boston Celtic, John Holland.
Holland getting Dyckman off to a quick start, showing his range from downtown.
And don't forget, Antoine Mason above the rim. It's an 8-0 run in 45 seconds, and it's a timeout super early for X-Men. They're going to talk it over. It's a 20-second timeout, so we'll stay right here, Pat. 8 points right away. We don't even blink. We don't even turn around from the second game. 2 threes from John Holland and a big jam from Antoine Mason.
Dyckman's turning defense into offense. First, Holland off the steal, knocking down the 3. Then Antoine Mason, who had a team-high 31 points last week, gets a steal in the basket in transition. Defense into offense for Dyckman leads to an early 8-0 advantage. 2
threes within about 30 seconds for John Holland. He was signed by the Boston Celtics in about the middle of last season. Of course, Boston made the playoffs. Holland was on that roster for that playoff run. He played high school ball at Fordham Prep. He's a Bronx native, played college ball at Boston University, and Pat, no surprise, it's a Dyckman turnover, and it's a John Holland. Ooh, surprising there, he missed it.
Not as much success as the other 2 times, but they are turning defense and offense, and transition will be key as X-Men turn the ball over right here. So another second chance opportunity off a turnover for Dyckman, up 8-0 here.
Dyckman perhaps getting a little frustration out after getting that loss last week in double overtime quickly.
They had their chances to win. I would be frustrated too, and they're punching right away.
Holland kind of running the offense. Here's Nate Brown, the drive and dish to kind of nobody. X-Men takes over possession. Looking inside, Jordan Dickerson here, posting up, turnaround left-handed shot, no good. Quickly going the other way is Dyckman. Marcus Stout, the Fordham University star, no good, and we quickly go the other way as Malcolm Grant has it for X-Men. And he hits a jumper as X-Men's on the board with a little more than 10 minutes left in the first quarter.
Nice move by the Brooklyn native Malcolm Grant, knocking down the jumper to start the bleeding of the early 8-0 run.
Nate Brown's triple no good, so Dyckman off to an early lead. They make buckets on their first 3 possessions since have not scored anything. Malcolm Grant's jumper there, no good, so we go the other way. Dyckman's Antoine Mason doing what he does best and kind of just forcing his way to the bucket. Can't get that to go. Here's Eddie Ublis driving to the bucket, trying to lay it up on that rim. No good. John Holland going the other way. It's a 2-on-1. Holland keeps it himself and gets the lay-in to go. 10-2. Dyckman leads.
It's a nice play by Holland. He had Nate Brown right beside him. He looked off the defender and laid it in to bring the lead for Dyckman back up to 8.
Nice spinning turnaround move by Delroy James. For X-Men, he is the leading scorer in Pro City so far this season. 32 points a game. John Holland may be getting to 32 points a game before this one's over.
He's getting his open looks early here, Dan.
The drive by James there, and then he dishes out to Dickerson, but he's fouled before he can pass it. A lot of faces New York City basketball fans know on the court right now, especially for Dyckman. We talked about John Holland. We talked about Antoine Mason. Of course, also out there, Marcus Stout. There's James hitting another jumper. And ball handling for Dyckman, Nate Brown, of course, Pat. Stout to Mason, now in the corner. It's Nate Brown. A little pick and roll doesn't work, though. The pass is deflected. Here comes James going the other way, guarded by Brown. James got a height advantage, posts him up right away. Brown able to get a hand on the dribble, and they call it out on James, so it'll be Dyckman ball.
Nice job by Nate Brown containing Delroy James. He's been effective early on here.
Holland, top of the key, three-pointer, just off the back left rim, no good.
Holland has showed early he likes that shot. He's knocked down a couple early, but hasn't knocked down a few after.
Grant in the corner now. It's Eddie Ublis trying the fancy dribble. That doesn't work, but a foul called on Antoine Mason.
Tell the ref, number 30 that guard.
10-6 after a quick spurt from Dyckman that made him an 8-0 lead. That's almost now entirely evaporated as number 34 for X-Men is Tommy Eddy hits the top of the key three. It's 10-9 Dyckman. Here's Tarantella fighting inside with Dickerson, and his fight was worth it as he gets good position right under the hoop, puts it home.
Nice move by Della to get that position and get the layup. Looked like he didn't have much there, but he made it happen.
Eddie posting up, wants it back, gets it. He's got Marcus Stout on him, a jab, step, a drive, powers his way in, just throws it up, and gets the foul call he was looking for. So Tommy Eddy will go to the line for X-Men.
Tommy Eddy showing what he can do, knocked down the three on the previous possession, now using his big body to get inside and draw a foul. Eddie was big for X-Men last week as he had 15 points.
Eddie, one of these guys we're kind of seeing a lot in this league on Tuesday nights, especially these big guys, not afraid to step back, take jumpers, and hit them from maybe 15, 17, 19, 21 feet.
And once they knock down those jumpers, then it opens up their inside game where they can be very effective in the low block.
Eddie hits the free throw. It's a 2-point game now. 12-10. Dyckman leads. A little more than 7 minutes left, first quarter. Marcus Stout on the corner. Looking for an opening. Stout struggled last week in that double overtime game, prime time. Holland looked for Stout there. Pass deflected. Now here's Tarandella. His pass a little careless, a little wide, out of bounds. Going the other way, X-Men ball.
After this slow start by the X-Men defense, they're really bearing down on defense, forcing tougher shots and turnovers. Since it was 8-0, they've outscored Dyckman 8-4, and they're right back in this ballgame.
6:37 left first quarter. Dyckman had an 8-0 lead. Now it's a 12-10 lead. Almost halfway through the first. Posting up, Tommy Eddy. Nice pass down low to the other side. Dickerson couldn't control it though and ends up in a turnover. Here comes Nate Brown for Dyckman. What a scoop there. A drive and a scoop by Bright Mensa with the left hand. Got punishment, got the hoop, got the foul call. He'll go to the line to complete the three-point play, Pat. Mensa, acrobatic play.
Mensa caught the ball, top of the kid, exploded to the lane for the layup, and one could increase his lead to 5 here, pending the free throw.
In and out on the free throw there. X-Men takes over possession. Malcolm Grant, ball handling, off a screen, trying to set up Eddie Atine on the post up. Grant takes a jumper from just inside three-point range, no good. Other way, here we go, Mensa, headman in there for Dyckman, dishes it over to Brady now. First Brady finds Nate Brown. The three-pointer is good.
Nate Brown showed he could score last week with the double-double, 11 points, also dished out 10 assists. Big time three there to increase the lead back to 7.
Eddie on that spot on the baseline again, posting up, then backing up, takes the jumper, it's short. Mensa had the rebound in his hand, but couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds. X-Men will get a lucky extra possession. Now it's Eddie Ublis on the post. He's posting up Mensa. He got a whistle. We got a foul call on Dyckman. Off the ball, it seemed like, or perhaps it is. It is actually some sort of an illegal defense. Defensive 3 seconds, you're trying to say to me.
Yes.
Grant hits the free throw. Too late entrance for X-Men. Coming out of the locker room right now. They'll take their seat on the bench and perhaps be eligible to play in this game. How about this one now? The baseline, the free throw line. Ublis can't get it to go. Now it's Grant getting control and trying to drive in the paint. Outside to James. James drives from the top of the key. Layup no good. We go the other way. Nate Brown looking for an opening. He'll hold and wait. Switches sides. Here's Mensa driving again. Gets the foul call. Can't get the layup this time. He'll have to settle for a pair of free throws.
That's the second time this half. Mensa catches the ball at the elbow, drives to the hoop, draws the foul using his speed and quickness to get to the basket and get hit.
Worked last time.
It did. Now he has two shots to get 2 more points. Missed his first foul shot last time, though.
Is that a prediction?
No, last time he missed his first one.
And this time, too.
So 0 for 2 for Mensa from the line.
John Holland takes his seat. Tyran Della taking his spot. Holland definitely going to be a matchup problem for anybody in this league just because he's got size, but obviously as he showed within the first 30 seconds of this game, he can shoot the three, he can shoot from anywhere. You don't have to wonder for too long why he's on an NBA roster.
He showed his versatility early on in this game, and he will continue to do that today.
Talk about a power move. Coyote Ayani just kind of lowering his shoulder, going right at the bucket there. Other end, it's Mensa spinning and crossing over and doing a whole bunch of different moves. Gives them 2 points. So it's 20. Oh, boy. Offense going back and forth and back again. That's Delroy James to the bucket, finishing above the rim, and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
James has shown why he's the leading scorer in this league. He scores in many aspects of his game. Right there, he blew by the defender, dunked the ball, and drew the foul for a chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
James at the line. He went to University of Rhode Island, and it's kind of fitting because he has a similar game, at least I think, that you see from like a Lamar Odom, where he's got the kind of versatility. He can shoot, drive, handle the ball, and he's got the size as well. Mensa's three-pointer no good, but there's going to be a foul call, and the ball is going to stay here. Foul on X-Men on the defensive end.
Yenny getting a little overzealous there, pushing off, going for the loose ball.
Antoine Mason on the wing with the ball. Looks like some sort of zone defense here from X-Men. Mason finds a spot and hits his first jumper of the game.
Mason, like we mentioned before, had 31 points last week. He shows he could score right there with a little stop and pop to increase the lead to 7.
Coming into this game, that's something you got to be excited about. There's a couple of guys on each team, and proving my point before I even made it there, that are just supremely talented players. Delroy James, one of them, we just talked about. He can shoot it. He can put it on the floor. Antoine Mason, another one. Certainly John Holland from that same mold. Della there, unable to get it to go, as kind of 4 X-Men defenders converge on him.
And it's going to be interesting, Dan, as the game goes on to watch James and Holland go at it. 2 very talented scorers have showed it early on in this game.
Dyckman with possession, taking it out of bounds. Here's Della, just lost it. It was taken right out of his hands by Aaron Hargrove. X-Men taking the other way. It's James with Della on him. Goes right at the bucket. Nearly got that layup to go. He'll go to the line, though, instead and shoot a pair. A little more than 3 minutes left. Dyckman leading X-Men 22-17.
James kind of taking over the X-Men offense. Got the three-point play in the previous possession. Gets fouled there. And now could get 2 points at the foul line. James knocks down the first to make it 22-18. So Dan, it was Holland early. Now it's James getting the X-Men back in this game.
Holland on the bench now. 22-19. Dyckman lead down to 3. That's after they scored the first 8 points of the game. All of them by John Holland. Finished last NBA season with the Boston Celtics. Another illegal defense called? That is the call.
And in Pro City, they have the same rules as the NBA, so they have the illegal defense to try to eliminate the zone. And keep a guy in the paint on defense for longer than 3 seconds without a guy in the vicinity.
The human rule book. Patrick McCormick making his presence felt early.
You know, just in case if people didn't watch the first 4 weeks, I wanted to explain it to them. We got to keep watchers knowledgeable.
And we appreciate that. As Meg Kidd, there have been actually quite a few in the first 4 weeks of these 3-second defensive 3-second violations and these flagrant free throws that you see that, you think, is this street ball or is it not street ball? I guess there's a name for it somewhere. We'll try to think of it within the next, hour and a half of this game. And when I figure it out, I'll let everyone know.
And James, he exploded to the hoop early in the corner there. He showed he could back down, and he got fouled again. So James showing how he could draw fouls, knock down foul shots. Very effective player, and he's made it a 1-point game.
Chris Brady inside, now back out Dyckman moving the ball quickly. Now here's Mason on the wing. He'll drive to the bucket and get the foul call. A lot of what we've seen in the last couple weeks from Mason is just a relentless, aggressive, confident scorer in the plays that he'll drive it, he'll pull for a jumper, he'll kind of do it all, whatever he needs to do to get points.
Mason can score in all aspects of his game, like you said, the jumper, the layup, the threes, and has shown in his college career. He was a two-time first-team All-MAC with Niagara and scored over 2,000 points in his college career with both Niagara and Auburn in the SEC. So he showed at two high-quality levels of college basketball that he could put the ball in the basket.
No stranger to the color orange, Antoine Mason. But again, like we saw last week, late in that game, that double overtime game that Dyckman ended up losing, his one weakness, if there is one, is at the free throw line.
He missed a lot of foul shots last week. Right there, he split, keeping it a 2-point game.
2:18 left, first quarter. Marcus Stout will check back in for Dyckman, replacing Antoine Mason. It's a 23-21 Dyckman lead. Kickball called on Chris Brady on that entry pass into the paint. It's a good thing he did kick that ball, Pat, or else it would have been an easy 2, as Thiago Quinn was waiting for the pass on the other end.
It's a nice play by Brady, and you don't really lose much. You just have a couple seconds on the foul shot, on the shot clock to defend more.
James corner, three-pointer, no good. To fight for the offensive rebound results in a foul call on Dyckman. Tyrandella the foul called on him. X-Men will keep possession. They'll actually go to the free throw line. It'll be Hargrove shooting a pair for X-Men, as John Holland getting ready to check back in for Dyckman.
Hargrove did a good job getting his body in position to get the foul called and has the chance to knock down 2 foul shots to tie the game here.
So substitution. So I go towards that.
Holland checks in for Dell, who's got himself in a little bit of foul trouble early.
With the Celtics organization, John Holland is playing for the Puerto Rican international squad, so big shouts to him. Gets a rebound, Holland does.
Here comes Holland back in the game and with the ball now. Top of the key, it's Mensa. Now it's a cutting Chris Brady, able to finish with a little floater in the lane and a nice play by Brady.
Nice give and go and keeping Dyckman up by 3.
James for X-Men looking for the answer. 1:38 left, first quarter. James inside, pass unable to be caught, and it's a turnover for X-Men as Dyckman wastes no time inbounding the ball. Here's Mensa looking for an opening. He's got Stout on his right, Stout to Brady. Brady for 3, off the front rim. Quickly running the other way is X-Men. Brady a little farther out of the key than he'd like to be on defense. James now at the basket, the double pump and the slam. Delroy James.
James with 14 of 24 for the X-Men.
They're trailing by 1. John Holland now in the corner. The three-pointer is good. Dyckman gets a 3 to elongate that lead that was 1. Now, of course, it's 4 as we pass the 1-minute mark. 54 to play in the first quarter. Delroy James, relentless. There may have been 3 people guarding him there. A spin move. He didn't really mind any of them. Just ignoring them. Count the basket. He'll go to the line for a 3-point play.
James, who has 16 of the X-Men's 26 points, has showed everything. Knocks him 3 last position. Hooping the harm right there, and he can make it a 1-point game here, which he does.
He does. James has been a one-man wrecking crew for X-Men. Inside here's Brady. Tries to leave it on the rim. Adding insult to injury, Brady spins, misses the lay-in, then gets a foul called on him. What is that foul?
He could have reached out and grabbed them, trying to get 3 of them as he was falling to the ground.
On the way down to the ground.
I didn't see it, but that's the only thing I could think of. When he caught the ball, he spun, he fired a hook shot, which he missed. And then he lost his balance and may have clipped the rebounder.
So in the rule book, it's a may have clipped. That sends Aaron Hargrove to the line for 2, of which he just missed the first.
Hargrove is a Queens native.
Both free throws off the front rim, but Ayani there to tip in the putback and get X-Men the deuce that they could have got at the free throw line.
Nice tip by St. Francis Brooklyn product.
Here's Mensah in the corner, John Holland. Off the back rim as 2 X-Men players pay for the rebound. Ayani ends up with a nice pass, but maybe an instant too late. As Thiago Quinn couldn't catch it. Instead it goes out of bounds. Dyckman will be able to hold for the last shot. 17 seconds left. They trail by 1, 29-28, as they led for basically the entire first quarter. Now 10 on the game clock. Marcus Stout to the top now. Right Mensah. Top of the key 3 is perfect. Passion. Nothing but net. X-Men with the last chance. It's Delroy James. Across midcourt, 2 seconds now over to Ayani. His 3, no good. Buzzer sounds at the end of an exciting first half. It's X-Men trailing Dyckman 31-29. Delroy James for X-Men leading all scorers with 17 after 1 quarter here from Baruch College. And second quarter just started here at Nike Pro City, watching back-to-back broadcasting. X-Men missed the first shot of the second quarter. They trailed by 2. Had a lead briefly there in the first quarter, Pat. Lost it, though. Dyckman was in charge for most of that first quarter.
They got involved early by the play of Josh Holland, the Boston Celtic. Knocked down a 3 and a layup to start. And then the X-Men started to chip away. And Ayani gave them a 2-point lead. 1-point lead, but Dyckman answered right before the end of the quarter. So back and forth they go.
Antoine Mason, nice thought, almost a nice pass to Nate Brown. Can't convert. Another layup missed on the other end, but Ayani gets the rebound and the putback. Ayani reminds me a lot of Sean Marion. He's the guy you're not going to draw a play up for, but he's going to get those rebound putbacks. He's going to be in the right place at the right time to score points nonetheless.
And they showed that twice today on the tipping off the foul shot and that putback right there.
Antoine Mason with a deuce for Dyckman as they're back in front by 2. Tommy Eddy back in the game for X-Men. Backing down Stapp. Underneath, too high off the backboard. And no good. Cleared by Holland. Now here's Brown. In the corner, Greg Moore. He'll clear it back out. Stout. Corner 3. No good.
Good look by Stout. He just couldn't get it to go.
Antoine Mason grabs the rebound for Dyckman. He quickly goes the other way. Crossover to the bucket. High off glass. Count it. And the foul. The ref says score the goal. Antoine Mason making his presence felt.
That's a great stop-and-go dribble by Mason. You just have to create some space, explode to the hoop, and draw the contact. Mason again showing how he's a prolific scorer.
Mason completes the old-fashioned three-point play. Dyckman up 5, 36-31 as we come up on 10 minutes left in the second quarter. More of Dyckman called for the foul. It'll be Malcolm Grant to the line, shooting a pair.
Calling it very tight down low.
Grant hits the first.
Also, give him a round of applause. He's going to be inducted in New York City Basketball Hall of Fame. So give it to y'all some love. Over 40 years of training. Got my son in school. Played at the Harlem Globetrotters. He got my son education. A big shout out.
Grant hits them both. 3-point game.
What are you going to do?
Stout from the other corner. That's a 2, and it's no good. Greg Moore, though, tried to come from behind with a steal. Couldn't, though. X-Men retained possession. Grant starts him off the other way. Ianni faked a 3, dished it off. On the drive, it's Antoine Mason with a block. Resets for X-Men. It's Ianni again, this time for 3. No good. Dyckman's Moore, gets the rebound, ends up in the hands of Holland. Here's a Holland drive and a little baby hook. That's no good.
Nice idea by Holland, just going to get it to go. Figure if he attacks the basket a couple more times, it will open up that 3, which he's hit so effectively in the first quarter.
The jumper there by C.J. Wallace. No good. Here's Grant driving on Stout. They're going to call a foul on Stout.
Tournament of Champions, so he's in the ball game. Former Sequel Power. He's in. Graham Wizards back in. Jake Torno, we say with the basketball. LIU product. Tommy goes baseline in and out. Tip back to we say. Over the mountain. Graham MG3, short with it. Master builder with it. Noy. Pass it over to the master builder. Master builder. I see you.
Mason back in it. It's Mensah with the steal, some nifty passing, ends in the hands of Holland. His shot no good. Mensah with the putback.
Mensah, right place, right time to increase the Dyckman lead back to 7. Mensah showing he could finish in the block with the layup and that putback right there.
Mensah wasn't really a factor at all in the game last week, but already just about 17 minutes into play here, he's been a big factor in this game. Chris Brady for X-Men gets on the board, backing him down, getting the deuce. It's a 5-point game, Dyckman in front. Stout's missed a couple now.
He's missed 3 this quarter. He's 0 for 1 in the first quarter. He's 0 for 3 here, so he's 0 for 4 today.
Stout ahead to Mason, but the pass not strong enough. Mason had to step on everyone, but the ball couldn't get there. Now Eddie in the corner looking for a cut in. Delroy James. Stout again to Mason. This time the pass is far enough. Mason catches it and finishes. Dyckman goes to 7.
Nice heads-up play by Marcus Stout, finding Antoine Mason to make it a 7-point game.
Here's Jay Torno-Wiese, the former LIU Brooklyn star. Count that, and a foul. Using the pivot foot masterfully. So Wiese played at LIU Brooklyn. His brother just won a city championship at Zavarian.
Nice run by the X-Men, Zavarian. Same nickname.
Did you do that on purpose?
No. Really the Clippers, but...
There you go. We don't want to be confusing.
But they are called the X-Men, and that's a great run. They beat a great Lachlan team, a great Malloy team, and nice way for Jack Alicia to close out his career.
Nate Brown ball handling for Dyckman. They lead by 4. Antoine Mason Jr. has 9 points in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter for them. Right. Mensah hits the jumper, falls over a fan. Everyone's okay. And Tommy Eddy on the other end gets the deuce to go. So X-Men won't let Dyckman get that far away from him. Holland misses. Della doesn't. The tip-in is good, as Holland had a great idea, had to loft that shot pretty high to get it over the defender, and Della was there with the putback.
Outside the first 2 points of this game by Holland, he has struggled to score since then.
Here's James facing up Della, drives right at him, too high off the window, but there's Tommy Eddy The putback, that goes. We're seeing some good offense here, and maybe a lot of it's coming off of offensive rebounds. Mason with the drive, dishes to Della now in the corner. Stout will try it again, or rather, that's Nate Brown.
Nate Brown knocking down the trifecta. He leads the league with 9 assists per game.
Dyckman takes an 8-point lead. Eight-point lead for Dyckman, 5:21 left in the second quarter. Both these teams 1 and 2. Both of them look to even it up at 500. Antoine Mason, top of the key. He'll drive, he'll spin, he'll hit the lay-in. Wanted a foul call, he'll have to settle for the deuce. Antoine Mason Jr. getting Dyckman going.
Great attack by Mason, giving Dyckman their first double-digit lead of the ballgame.
It's a 10-point lead with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Della with the steal off a rough pass there by X-Men's Mike Campbell. Our Brian Fonseca on the sideline now. Let's go over to him. Brian.
Guys, I spoke with Tommy Eddie of the X-Men last week, whose team lost by a lot to the Sean Bell All-Stars. And he said that they were missing a lot of guys. They were shorthanded. One of the guys who was missing, Delroy James, who's back tonight, Nike Pro City's leading scorer, had 18 points in the first quarter, and we're definitely seeing that impact being felt tonight. Tommy Eddie did. He called the loss upsetting. Said that it was very upsetting to lose that game and hope that they come back with vengeance and win tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, Tommy Eddie kind of pointing out the obvious, but something that did need to be pointed out. If you're losing your leading scorer, the leading scorer in the entire league, it's going to hurt, Pat.
They did have Smush Parker, the former NBA star, coming in, of course, a team-high 17 points. But another piece right there, like James, can make a difference, as James showed in the first quarter.
Holland's three-pointer, no good there. It is still a 10-point lead for Dyckman. Nonetheless, we say in the corner to Miami. He's stripped from behind. Ball goes out of bounds. X-Men will retain possession. 14 on the shot clock. Ayani to James. He's in the corner. Back to Ayani. The three-pointer comes up short. Holland with the rebound. He'll head man up to Mason. Mason's got a lane. His shot, though, blocked. A lot of contact by Ayani. No foul call. It's James and Ayani. Holland, rather, on defense. James' shot no good. Rattled out other way. It's Brown in the corner. That's Brown. Actually, it was Mensa who dribbled it down the lane and found Brown open. Thanks largely to Mensa drawing the defense inside.
Dyckman, like they were very effective early in the game, turning defense into offense, and it's led to a 13-point lead here.
Nice pass by Grant to Dickerson, the former Zavarian High School All-Star. Throws that down. Then he fouls Antoine Mason on the other end.
Nice shot by Jordan Dickerson. He had 6 points last week. Played his college ball at Penn State.
Mason will go to the line after that foul by Dickerson. 55-44, Dyckman with an 11-point lead. 3:38 left in the second quarter.
Dan, early in the broadcast, you mentioned Mason struggles from the foul line. He's gotten a lot better this week. I only think he's missed one. He's been very effective at the line. But those points are very important in a tight game like this one.
You know, I'm just mentioning those things to kind of reverse the jinx.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah. Mason hits them both with a 13-point Dyckman lead. X-Men's got to figure something out if they want to go into the locker room at halftime, not trailing by double digits. Ayani, top of the key, looking for a screen. Tried to spin around, but couldn't. Here's Brown. Gives it up to Mason. Goes reverse. Inside out for the jam. It's a 15-point lead for Dyckman. They built a nice cushion, forcing X-Men to call a timeout. There's 3:10 left in the second quarter here at Baruch College. Nike Pro City 2016 on Backpack Broadcasting.
Looking for a ride after the game? Well, Lyft has Nike Pro City viewers covered with rides on tap. Download the Lyft app today and use the limited code PROCITY16 for up to $50 in free Lyft credit. Lyft, rides in minutes.
Elena, thanks for helping us figure out our favorite player.
Of course. We're here just in time for girls' night tonight.
I don't know about going to girls' night.
Oh, yeah?
Back here at Baruch College, Backpack Broadcasting. Dyckman up 15. It's the largest lead of the game so far, and it maintains at 15. Just less than 3 minutes left now in the second quarter. Pat Dyckman in the last couple minutes throwing that lead, trying to do it again. Here's C.J. Wallace from deep. That's no good.
They got the steal there, got an open look, and that's what they've been doing. Defense in the offense, transition and threes. Nate Brown, the catalyst, knocking down a couple of threes and dishing the ball out.
Here's James at the bucket. Nice little up and under scoop. James finds many different ways to get his buckets. Mason's going back to the free throw line.
Right there, Mason made something out of nothing. He picked up the loose ball and was able to draw the contact on a tough angle. Mason showing he's the all-around scorer.
Mason misses the first. It's still a 13-point lead, though, for Dyckman with 2:16 left in the second quarter.
You know, this is presentation all the time. It's the liquor confidence. It's not real confidence, it's liquor confidence.
Malcolm Grant back in for X-Men, top of the key. He's guarded by Bright Menson. Now off the screen, Mason will pick him up in the corner now. Delroy James guarded by Tarandella. Back up to Grant. That three-point attempt no good. It's going to be Brown going the other way quickly to Mason. Spin and a lay-in. Rolls in and out. James headbands the rebound. Off to Ayani. He gets his layup to go.
After a missed opportunity by Dyckman, James finds Ayani right there.
Wallace inside now. Here's Della spinning on James off the window and no good. They're going to call a foul on James, though. One thing I've noticed, Pat, is especially Antoine Mason for Dyckman going off quickly and just running to the other end off any miss or turnover, and it's resulted in a couple points for Dyckman. It's not choopy hanging. It's just getting off on the other end quickly.
He's been very effective. Kind of like a wide receiver blowing past the safety, and it's many foul shots, many layups, and it's what Dyckman has done mainly to increase their lead. That, and along with Nate Brown, he's been a very good facilitator and also knocked down the three. Transition very important for Dyckman here today.
James grabs the rebound off the Della miss. It's a 13-point game, 90 seconds left in the second quarter. James breaking down Della, drives in, two guys on him, doesn't matter. Delroy James, another deuce. Brown with the ball. Some funny business going on underneath with Wallace and Ayani. Ayani ends up with the ball on a steal, a fielder's choice, if you will. Grant to Eddie. Nice passing by X-Men. It was a 4-on-2 break. Headman by James. Nice passing all around. X-Men within 9.
And capped off by the former boys and girls kangaroo, Tommy Eddie.
Nice drive there by Bright Mensa. gets the deuce right back, brings the lead back to double digits. 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Grant inside, and wide open, didn't even realize how wide open he was. By the time he got to the bucket, though, Della was there to swat away his layup attempt.
Great recovery by Della. Like you said, Ianni was open with it, laying to the basket. Hesitated a little, nice slide over in the rejection to save 2 points.
Ianni will take it out of bounds. 12 on the shot clock, third 4 on the game clock. Ianni gets it on the block. Fadeaway jumper's good in the lane. It's a 9-point game once again, and Dyckman's going to call a timeout to discuss this last 30 seconds of the second quarter. So, Pat, it's an 11-point game for Dyckman, and I guess it's really what it feels like. I mean, Dyckman's never really take complete control of the game, but X-Men certainly has neither.
They haven't, but Dyckman, like we mentioned time and time again, they're turning that defense and offense. And James was effective answering in the first quarter, a little quieter here, but they're within striking distance.
It's a 10-5 run in the recent play by X-Men to kind of get him back into it, get him within 9. Of course, if you remember back to the tip-off in the start of this game, John Holland scored 8 points in the first 30 seconds. Dyckman's not really relinquished the lead since then. Still not anything but an insurmountable lead for X-Men.
No, it's only a 3-possession game. If I'm Dyckman coming out of this timeout, I work the whole 23 seconds on the shot clock. You don't want to turn the ball over early or force a shot that won't be very effective. You could give X-Men a chance to make it a 7-point game or even a 2-possession game going in a half. So you want to try to keep it at 9 or more. So work as much clock as you can here.
Mensa with it. He's got Brown, Moore, Wallace, and Stout on the floor with him. Spreading out, looking for some sort of perimeter jumper. Certainly Wallace. Mensa now top of the key. Eddie on him. 2 to shoot's got to force that. Off the window. The bench is open. That's good. 6 seconds left. X-Men will look to respond, or maybe they won't. Can't really get a shot. There's the buzzer. Oh, that would have counted. James is off the window. Can't match the shot Dyckman hit as Mensa hit a 3-pointer with the shot clock running down to put Dyckman up a dozen as we complete the first half. It's Dyckman 66, X-Men 54. We're going to halftime here at Baruch College. It's Nike Pro City on Backpack Broadcasting.
Still feel regular for me, even though I'm in the NBA. This right here is the 301. That's where I'm from. It's my building. That's where I grew up at, playing here, born and raised. This is 7C right there, the one with the AC. That was my room. I got a tattoo on me too. 7C. I started coming here probably about when I was 10 years old. So this is where you come to get your name up right here. It definitely brings back memories. And just watching these kids, man, it reminds me of myself back in the days when I was younger.
Back here at Baruch College, halftime between X-Men and Dyckman. Let's send it over to Brian Fonseca, standing by with the X-Men head coach.
I'm joined now by Coach Raphael Edwards of the X-Men. Coach, you're down 12. You've been getting on your guys all game. What's not going right for you so far?
I just think the guys got to pick up their energy level. And once they pick up the energy level and just get a little more aggressive, I think we'll be fine.
Was there anything encouraging, before the half ended? You guys did cut the lead a little close, but you're still down 12.
Well, a lot of these guys are new, and they're still learning each other. So I think I've found the good combinations now to play, so that's very encouraging. We only down 12.
And you've had time to talk to the players so far. What have you said to them during the halftime break in order to get back into this game and take the lead eventually?
Basically, pick up the energy. Don't be afraid to shoot, and we gotta limit the other team to one shot and rebound, and we gotta go.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck in the next half.
Thanks a lot.
Guys, back to you. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, KD. So there's a lot of great players right now, and that makes it kind of hard for us to pick a favorite. So we're going to live with you for a while to help us decide.
That's a little weird, but come on in.
Wow!
Did Mr. Durant do you dirty?
Yeah, I dunked on him.
Have a sorry about that bag.
Ooh.
That's like, bang! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Some new ankles in there. Don't be mad. You gonna cry in the car.
Hi, I'm John Starks. What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
It still feel regular for me, even though I'm in the NBA. This right here is the 301. That's where I'm from. It's my building. That's where I grew up at, playing here, born and raised. This is 7C right there, the one with the AC. That was my room. I got a tattoo on me too. 7C. I started coming here probably about when I was 10 years old. So this is where you come to get your name up right here. It definitely brings back memories. And just watching these kids, man, it reminds me of myself back in the days when I was younger. Anthony Clark, he was like my brother growing up. He had foster parents, so my mother kind of took him in as a brother to me. He was 3 years older than me, but it's like my best friend. We go outside, play basketball, do things regular average kids do. One day he went to Brooklyn. I was too young to go, but he asked me to go, and I asked my mom. She said no. Good thing she said no. He went to Brooklyn and just never came back. Some birds, wings, got the date he died, got his birthday up there, his name in the middle with a cross. I took that as motivation, just to make it, get my family out the hood, and that's what I did. Me just coming from the Bronx and being from New York, I always wanted to play at a New York college. Syracuse is a big school, that was my dream school, so I went there, played basketball. I got hurt middle of the year, I only played 15 games. But even though I got hurt, I didn't want to.
Welcome back to Baruch College. It's the second half, about to begin of our second game of this Tuesday night doubleheader. Dyckman leading X-Men 66-54. It was a disjointed first half, to say the least. While X-Men led by one after one, Dyckman outscored them by 13 in the second quarter, Pat.
Yeah, Dyckman got off. Defense turned to offense. John Holland, quick start. And then the game kind of slowed down. The X-Men worked at their advantage. Midway point in the second half, Dyckman turned defense and offense again to put their lead up, and then X-Men cut it to 9, and then a nice job by Jordan Theodore at the end of the half to make it a 12-point game.
Jordan Theodore, or as we like to call him, the basketball player formerly known as Bright Mensa. We have now made that correction. We had gotten that correction from our box score and made it. We apologize for past incorrectness. But number 3 in orange, Jordan Theodore, former Seton Hall star. Speaking of stars, John Holland with a nice pass there to Tyrandella. First points of the second half scored by Dyckman, improving their lead from 12 to 14.
So second period of the way. Once again, want to let you know, coming up this Thursday, July 14th, you got the champ, Big Goals All-Star, one of the godfathers of basketball. They'll be here against the New York Lightning. And they show them All-Stars.
Antoine Mason, along with Nate Brown, John Holland, Tyrandella, and Marcus Stout on the floor for Dyckman in orange. Loose ball somehow ends up in the hands of Mason. Now ends up in the hands of John Holland, and the Boston Celtic won't miss a lot of open three-pointers like that.
Holland starting the second half just like he started the first. Great play by Stout to tip the ball to Mason for the wide-open shot. Great team effort by Dyckman, who has their biggest lead of the game at 71-54.
It's a good 5 out there right now for Dyckman, especially if Stout is hitting as well. Holland showed he can hit from long distance. Mason, we know that he can do driving and shooting. And here is Stout off the back rim and no good, but X-Men, 3 X-Men players going for the rebound. None of them get it. Nate Brown ends up with the three-pointer, and it's good. Pat, it's like a 5 or 6 point exchange as X-Men could be going one way with the ball, instead they lose it, and Dyckman ends up with a triple.
It's a great hustle by John Holland to grab that rebound and find Nate Brown for the 3.
Tommy Eddy fighting for that loose ball, can't get it. Dyckman ends up with it. They've got a 20-point lead, and they're running for more. Here's Mason right by the entire X-Men defense, but he misses the layup. X-Men catch a break there. Here is Ayani to Delroy James. Misses the 3. John Holland looking for Nate Brown, couldn't find him. Other way, we're going end to end quickly. Malcolm Grant, nice pass to Eddie. Grant was in the air, ready to shoot the jumper. Saw Eddie underneath, wide open.
Heads up play by Grant, finding Eddie.
Holland fouled there by Mike Campbell.
John Holland seems like a different player in the second half. He's very effective in the first couple minutes of the first half, but here he's rebounding, he's dishing the ball, he's scoring.
This is that.
And it's really helped Dyckman get ahead by 18 points early on in the third quarter.
Here's Grant, Brown on him, around the screen now, trying to play pick and roll with Eddie. Instead in the corner, it's Campbell, no good, and we go the other way. Mason wants to run. He's got 3 X-Men defenders in front of him, still takes it to the bucket and gets it high off the window. You know, a lot of times with Antoine Mason, he'll do something that you'll think, that's probably not the best move, and it ends up working out anyway.
He had 3 guys back, not a lot of orange to rebound if he missed, but doesn't matter. He used the glass to bank it in and make it a 20-point game.
He's one of those no, okay guys. As it's going up, you're like, no. And then when he makes it, he's like, good job. Stout, there he is. And in the first couple minutes of the third quarter, everything going right for Dyckman. They built what was a 12-point lead into a 23-point lead. X-Men will take a full timeout. So will we. It's Nike Pro City. I'm back to broadcasting.
Hey, KD. So there's a lot of great players right now, and that makes it kind of hard for us to pick a favorite. So we're going to live with you for a while to help us decide.
That's a little weird, but come on in.
Did Mrs. Durant do you dirty?
Yeah, I dunked on him.
Have a sorry about that bag.
Ooh.
That's like, bang! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Some new ankles in there. Don't be mad. He gonna cry in the car.
Hi, I'm John Starks. What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
We're back at Baruch College, Nike Pro City 2016 on Backpack Broadcasting. 79-56 is the Dyckman lead. They're on a 13-2 run to start the third quarter. There's an Annie inside, off back rim, no good. Rebound, putback is good. It's Devon James who gets it to go for X-Men.
Nice.
Their first points in the third quarter.
Nice hustle play.
It's their fourth points in the third quarter. And maybe they get more. No, Andy stole the ball, but then stepped out of bounds. His way to the other end.
Ianni back-to-back possessions, keeping the ball alive on the offensive end, and then nice effort, but just stepped out of bounds. So Ianni, nice effort on both ends, and it's the little plays that will get X-Men back into the game.
Holland from about 19 feet out. It's on a different level, Pat. When it's an NBA guy, you can just tell. You give him an open jumper, it's going to go in.
And once they get in that rhythm, it's scary for the other team because they don't miss.
Bad pass by X-Men. Here's Round the other way. He's got numbers, but his pass was intercepted by Annie. Delroy James on the other end by himself for a two-handed flush.
Nice job by James. Had to avoid Marcus Stout, was able to jump, stop, and dunk it. Two A-10 players going back and head-to-head. A nice finish.
Look out. Holland is warming up once again. He's made his last 3 shots. That's a triple. Makes it 84-60. Dyckman, 7.5 left to play in the third. Matching them is Grant on the other end for X-Men. Fighting to stay in it. Mason through everybody.
And Dan,
Out the basket, Pat.
Mason doing that. You have Mason who could fly to the hoop, draw contact, or finish layups, and you have Holland knocking down threes and mid-range jumpers. Dyckman's going to be scary for the final 19 minutes or so of this game.
You look at a team like Dyckman, and you look at the way they're playing right now, and you wonder how they've only won 1 of their first 3 games. And, of course, the answer to that is that game last week, that double overtime game they ended up losing, was just an outlier of some sorts. It's a game they probably, for all intents and purposes, should have won.
They were 1.3 seconds away from winning, and also in this league, different guys show up on different nights. But basketball's funny like that, too.
But if you look at Dyckman, so you got a rotating roster, right? So we know that in this Nike Pro City League, you'll have a guy maybe for 1 week of the whole season, like John Holland. You don't know, maybe this is the only time seeing him play for Dyckman all year. But last week, they had a guy who wasn't here this week, in Brandon Trish, right?
Yes, Trish had 19 points last week.
19 points, a D1 player. Obviously, you know, a similar guy, at least to John Holland, in that he's a skilled shot maker. So if you're Dyckman and you got this rotating cast of maybe, you know, if not number 1 players for your team every week, you know, a 1A, 1B kind of guy, that's good enough for me, if you ask me, right?
It is, but basketball is also a funny game. You make shots, you miss shots, depending on the night. You could have a cold night, you could have a hot night. And a guy like Holland brings that more consistency. Like you said, the NBA player turns it on a lot more than the... It's not saying the other guys aren't good, but
right.
It's a different aspect to their game.
Right. Grant hits them both. It's a 22-point deficit for X-Men as we pass the 7-minute mark in the third quarter.
What I'm trying to say is they could dominate the game a lot easier.
Nice pass there. A little touch pass from Wallace to Stout. And I tell you what, another thing that maybe we haven't pointed out, but maybe if you're watching at home, you've noticed it for sure, is Dyckman is passing the ball very well.
And Marcus Stout, to note, only had 2 points last week, has 5 points this week.
James's drive is stopped by a foul by Dyckman. James at the line to shoot 2. It's 88-64 Dyckman.
James is one of those guys who has to get going if X-Men wants to get back into this game in the final 18:30 or so. He did it very well in the first quarter, scoring 18 of the team's 29 points in the opening frame, and he has that ability, just like John Holland, that he could take over a game.
He misses the second free throw. Here's Jordan Theodore, who just checked in. Wallace now, here's Mason. Usually Mason gets it this close. He's going at the bucket. You know what? And maybe we harp on Antoine Mason a little too much because it's just he makes so much happen during a game. And you may even know exactly what he's going to do, but it just seems not to matter just because of the relentlessness in which he does it.
He's one of those guys who can make something out of nothing. We've seen that a couple times. He gets to the line, and he can finish on both sides of the hoop. Very dangerous player. When you have a couple of those going, you can open up a big lead like Dyckman has today.
If you had to compare him to an NBA player, I have somebody in mind already. Who you have nobody. I see him as like a James Harden kind of guy.
Knock down the three from time to time.
He'll hit the shot, but he really wants to just drive it right at you, and he's going to do it no matter what you try to do to stop it. Speaking of nice drives, Jordan Theodore with a nice one there. He's in double figures. He's one of a few Dyckman players in double figures. Grant. Jumper no good. James.
Pinball surrounded in.
Is that a dunk? It's a dunk. We'll call it a dunk. Holland. Yes. A quick flip of the wrist for John Holland. The triple is good. Four and a half left in the third quarter. Dyckman leading 95-71, so it's a 24-point difference between the teams. With Devin James at the line, we're going to go over to our man on the sideline. That's Brian Fonseca. Brian.
Shortly before the game this evening, I spoke with Marcus Stout of Dyckman squad, who's up by a lot so far today. He said that his team, after getting past last week's double overtime loss, they're filled with professionals, need to get past this to prove that they can overcome adversity. He also said that he feels like his team should be undefeated. Right now they're 1-2, but as I said, they're winning by a blowout, proving that they are one of the best teams in Pro City, at least in their minds. We'll see what happens as the end of the night transpires. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Antoine Mason just hits a layup, gets fouled, so Mason will go to the line to try to complete a three-point play as Dyckman takes a 25-point lead. Pat, just like Brian just told us, this Dyckman team kind of filled with professionals. We touched on it a few minutes ago. Something that Greg Alcala and myself talked about in the first game. These teams that just have a lot of options on offense, it just seems to work a lot better. Obviously, when people are making shots, it's that much easier, but this Dyckman team has Stout, has Theodore, has Grant, or rather Mason, Holland, Trish if he's here. A lot of options offensively, a lot of different choices to get people hot.
And Brian mentioned they're 1-2. They want to be undefeated, but the nice part about a league like this, all you have to do is be in the top four to make the playoffs, and then you can win 2 straight games, and you win the championship. So it's being hot at the right time, and this Dyckman team has hosted. Jordan Theodore knocks down a layup. They're showing they can score, and they can get hot, and they can be a very dangerous team, even though they're 1-2 now.
Certainly, if you're a Sean Bell All-Stars or a Bingo All-Stars, who right now sitting pretty seemingly at 3-0, If you're watching this game and you're a bingo Cole, you got to be thinking Dyckman team just as dangerous as any of them as you see C.J. Wallace hit a triple.
He took the air out of the ball. That's what he did. That's how he made the shot. Spinning, wheeling, dealing.
Delroy, nice move to get to the bucket. Spins and crossovers, can't finish though. We go the other way. Dyckman's Jordan Theodore. We'll pull it out. He's got Jay Torno-Wise on him. Looking for a screen from Wallace. Gets it. Wise stays with him. No. Theodore, no good. Got fouled though. Can't get the layup to go, but he'll go to the line for a pair.
Theodore played his college ball at Seton Hall.
Mensa?
Yes. What's his name this quarter, Dan?
Jordan Theodore.
But Theodore right there, and like he showed in the first half, he's like Mason, that he could make something out of nothing, attack the hoop. And if he's not making the layup, he's drawing contact and getting fouled. So you have Theodore and Mason attacking the hoop. Holland showing he could shoot the three or attack. You have so many weapons that if you focus on one guy, you just fling the ball around and you have another guy who could be a dangerous scorer. And that's why Dyckman's up by 30 points right now.
Theodore hits the second. It's a 31-point lead now with less than 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Ianni to the rim, stuffed by Della. Ianni went right at the rim with two hands. And Della was there in denial.
I think that's the second time Della said that to Ianni today.
So if you remember, he must.
He definitely remembers. But drawing back from the scores, it's nice to have a role guy who makes defensive plays. Makes it that much better if you have guys scoring and playing defense.
Ianni will try from the free throw line and hits it off the window.
And just like last time, Ianni responds strong and scores 2 points after getting rejected.
Here's Mason with Ianni on him to clear out this side of the floor. Mason behind the back through the leg, step back. Foul called away from the ball.
2:18, remember. Defensive 3-second foul.
There's your favorite call, Pat.
It's just so dangerous. You have a chance to make a foul shot, and then you get possession. So it's not like an ordinary foul. You just get 2 shots. The team gets the ball back. Theodore makes the shot. Now you knock down to 3. You cut the lead to 29 on the last possession, but you knock down to 3. That's a 4-point swing, and the game's getting more out of reach as we go on.
C.J. Wallace now, guarded by Eddie. Tried to make a little move. That didn't work. Nice pass, though, to Theodore. He didn't have a lot of room to make the layup, and he got fouled. And he got it to go as well. Nice pass by Wallace. Nicer finish by Theodore.
And here's your potential 4-point swing.
There's your 4-point swing. Pat McCormick called it, and it happened.
Theodore very smooth, too, right there.
109-76. Dyckman way out in front. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Eddie up top to James. 2 guys on him. Swings it over to the corner. That's where Mike Campbell shoots the 3, but a whistle as they call an offensive foul on Delroy James, I'm going to assume, as he passed it off. He still kind of collided with a couple Dyckman defenders.
James took the ball to the hole. He collided with number 11, who's Brendan Lynn. Lynn took the charge, so a turnover by X-Men.
Theodore misses his 3. Eddie gets the rebound for X-Men. Going quickly the other way. Here's Wise. Nice pass inside. Ianni finishes.
It's a nice ball fake by Ianni, showing he could score down low.
That won't go for Dyckman. Lynn inside his first shot of the game. Too high off the window. Wallace inside, Della on the block, outside now to Theodore, he's on the wing. Here's Della now on the block with Eddie on him. Short jumper, no good. Lynn flying in for the rebound instead of bounced off his leg. And out of bounds, it'll be X-Men ball. James with Mason on him, step back, top of the key, no good. Rebound by Wallace, Hill had man it. High dribble and a pass off, no. Theodore claimed it bounced off an X-Men defender. The other ref wants to talk about it. Better not be that long of a discussion.
They stay with the original call. Nice idea, though, by Wallace looking for Theodore, just a little ahead of him.
45 seconds left, third quarter. Eddie from deep. Off back rim and no good. Theodore's got the rebound. 40 on the game clock in the third quarter. 20 rather, on the shot clock. Mason on the wing. Inside the Wallace. Double comes in on his. Someone's got to be open. It's Brandon Lynn. Over to Della. Off the window and good. More nice ball movement from Dyckman. 20 seconds left, third quarter. Game clock and shot clock nearly identical. Here's Weesay on the wing. Now to James. Driving to the bucket and getting that to go. 5 left in the third quarter clock. Theodore to Wallace. Got to get it off. Doesn't really have possession. And Dyckman has built himself quite a lead. They are up by 31, 111 to 80. Dyckman over X-Men. 3 quarters in the books. 1 left. It's Nike Pro City 2016 from Backpack Broadcasting.
Hey, KD. So there's a lot of great players right now, and that makes it kind of hard for us to pick a favorite. So we're going to live with you for a while to help us decide.
That's a little weird, but come on in.
Wow!
Did Mr. Durant do you dirty?
Yeah, I dunked on him.
Have a sorry about that bag.
Ooh.
That's like, ooh! Bang! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Some new ankles in there. Don't be mad. You gonna cry in the car.
Hi, I'm John Starks. What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name's David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
You love me. You love me because I'm Kobe. Because I'm a 5-time champion.
Back here at Brew College for the 4th and final corner of Game 2 of this Tuesday night doubleheader of Nike Pro City 2016. It's a big 111 to 80 lead for Dyckman. They outscored X-Men 45 to 26 in the third quarter rather.
And if you look at Dyckman's box score going through, Theodore has 25, Mason leads the bunch with 26, and John Hollins right there with 19. So you have 3 guys with 20 or so points. You have Nate Brown with 14 and Della with 12. So that's 5 guys in double figures, 3 guys basically with 20 points. And that's a great complete effort, and that's why they're up by 31 points right there.
Meanwhile, for X-Men, it's been basically Delroy James. He's got 31. Ianni's got 16 now, and Eddie's got 12. But not really a third scorer. Malcolm Grant had a 10 for X-Men. And that's basically why we are where we're at now. 11 minutes left, fourth quarter. Nice moves there by James, a behind the back dribble. Got him free, can't finish, but gets fouled.
And now you have just about 11 minutes left, and you have James at the line. He's 7 of 8 from the charity strike, and you knock these down, you make it a 27-point game. And it's possible that they could cut into this lead, but you need to knock down these shots like James did the first time, get a couple stops, knock down a couple baskets, and a couple minutes from now, we could be looking at a closer game. Take it one possession at a time, though.
Of course, a game of runs, so you expect X-Men to make a run in the fourth quarter, but Dyckman seems to have been able to push off every single time that X-Men's even strung maybe 2 or 3 baskets together thus far in this game. James guides for a rebound there, and X-Men's got a 5-on-3, 5-on-4 break. There's that spin move from James. He's able to calmly do that at will. Couple baskets in a row for Delroy James.
James leads all scorers with 35 today, and he's shown he can score in many aspects of his game.
A big stop for X-Men. Mason shot the 3. It was blocked right as it got out of his hands. He wanted a call. He didn't get it. James again. Delroy James, the one-man wrecking crew. He's early in the fourth quarter, and that 31-point deficit is now a 23-point deficit. Quickly in the fourth quarter. Dyckman calls a 20-second timeout, so we'll stick it right here. Keep it right here. Maybe a more polite way to say that, Pat. We're talking about free throws. We talked a lot about Antoine Mason shooting free throws. Thus far in this game, 6 of 9. That's got to be a nice thing to see. 12 of 17 as a team for Dyckman. X-Men on the other end, 15 of 22. The one glaring stat for me, 3-pointers. Dyckman, 15 of 27. X-Men, 1 of 10. I guess that's 2 of 11 now that I hit that one early in the fourth.
And that's a 39-point difference right there. And it's a 23-point game. So even if you defend the 3 or you knock down a couple threes, this game's that much closer.
Mason, that would have been a nifty make, but he gets fouled anyway. He'll go to the line. And we apologize if we're throwing maybe a little too many numbers at you, but just the fact that these numbers are so large. We said a 39-point difference from the 3-point line. You know, a 23-point difference in the lead change. You know, it's not exactly the exact number that we're trying to point out. Just kind of the largeness, for lack of a better term, of these numbers, and the reason why Dyckman sees that big cushion. We got to talk about something, Pat. You know,
we're talking, but the stats speak for himself. So they say you live by the 3 and you die by the 3, and Dyckman's living by the 3, and it shows.
Mason calls the defensive foul there. Looked like he was trying to take a charge. Referee did not agree. X-Men maintained possession. And Yanni, it's a 3. They're only within 21 now, Pat.
Chip away.
Bingo scores 121 week 1. Dyckman may certainly eclipse that this week. They're already at 112 with more than 9 minutes left in the second half, or fourth quarter rather. Theodore quick on the cross, tries to loop it up. Wallace the rebound. He'll clear it out. Stout for 3, in and out. James going right at the bucket. Wallace will try to stop him, but he can't. James taking over.
19-point game now, Dan, led by James and Ianni for the X-Men. Dyckman needs to get back to what made him successful in offense earlier in the game.
Theodore to the corner. That's where John Hollins awaits. Can't hit that long, too. Eddie with the rebound, and they'll call a foul on Marcus Stout.
So Dyckman has been struggling on the offensive end, and the X-Men have been able to make him pay.
X-Men calling a timeout to kind of recollect themselves. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll take a breather as well. 8:30 left in the fourth quarter. X-Men inching back into it. You might want to stay tuned. It's Nike Pro City on Backpack Broadcasting.
Hey, KD. So there's a lot of great players right now, and that makes it kind of hard for us to pick a favorite. So we're going to live with you for a while to help us decide.
That's a little weird, but come on in.
Did Mrs. Durant do you dirty?
Yeah, I dunked on him.
Have a sorry about that bag.
Ooh.
That's like, bang! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Some new ankles in there. Don't be mad. You gonna cry in the car.
Hi, I'm John Starks. What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
Back here at Baruch College, the fourth quarter of game 2 tonight, and there's Delroy James driving right at the bucket right away, gets the foul called. What was a large Dyckman lead. It's not dwindling, Pat, but it's getting a little tighter here as X-Men continues to have a strong fourth quarter.
The X-Men are on a 13-1 run since the end of the third quarter. And Ianni and James have been key to it, and this is what they want. They want to be adding points on the board, taking points off the lead with the clock stopped.
You brought up a good point during the break, too, and I'll share it with the audience and give you full credit for this. Now, we talked about, the free throw shooting of Dyckman, who at times this season we've seen struggle from the free throw line. So if you're X-Men, you might want to try to make this game as long as possible. Maybe start the foul game earlier than normal. Maybe not. Nice move there by Theodore. Maybe not wait until a minute or 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Maybe start the foul game at 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes left. Because we've seen guys like Mason struggle from the free throw line this season.
And you see it in the college game more. Coach is down by 12 with 30 seconds left. They foul. I mean, it doesn't always work. But if they split, you come down and you knock a three. There's 2 points right there. If they just knock down two, there's another 2 points.
Mason with a nice jump in there from short range. Dyckman's done a little bit to kind of push that lead out again. Grant, three-pointer, no good. Holland takes the rebound. 4-on-3 for Dyckman if they hurry, make it a 5-on-3. Theodore went for the lob to Mason. Mason comes down and gets the deuce nonetheless. So since X-Men comes out of that timeout, they get a drive by Ianni that results in a couple of free throws, but now their offense seems to be dwindling. Eddie inside, he's got Holland on him, and Eddie able to loop around the bottom of the backboard and get the lay-in.
It's a nice up and under by Eddie, making a 21-point game.
Theodore back it out, Grant drives the basket now, but a foul call before the shot. 1:18:97, just under 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Dyckman way in front. They've held off X-Men, who's made a charge through the middle of this fourth quarter. Here's Theodore driving on James, step back jumper is good. Jordan Theodore, not so quiet anymore. He may be the star of the game right now for Dyckman.
The professional.
120-99 now. Dyckman leads. We come up on 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Marcus Stout from the corner. That's a triple.
With that Marcus Stout 3, Dan, Dyckman has the season record for points at 123, breaking Bingo's record of 121, 10 in week 1.
It's no surprise. I mean, look at some of these quarters for Dyckman. Second quarter, they score 38. And in the third quarter, they score 45.
And the first quarter wasn't so quiet, too, 28 points.
James by himself, two-handed throwdown. Theodore pump fake, then looked like he may have purposely just thrown it off the shoe of Malcolm Grant to get a reset. Dyckman will maintain possession.
So the foul was on Malcolm Grant. That's his third personal foul. They'll take it out on the side. 5:31 remaining. Good minutes with Devon James. Showing signs of life. We're going to get back into this one, but Mason on the inbound over to the Ravens and Theodore.
Theodore in the corner's got James on him now. Underneath the Stout, step back, short on the jumper. Mason tried to grab it, but it's out of bounds off of X-Men. Yanni went for it and couldn't get it. He may have smacked hard into that barrier there, but there's plenty of padding. He seems to be okay. 123-101, so it's a 22-point advantage for Dyckman with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. X-Men made that little run. Dyckman seemed to have held them off. Running out of time for X-Men.
They are in Theodore and Marcus Stout, who we spoke about the other guys, Holland, Mason, Theodore. Marcus Stout's a nice little role player. He can knock down the 3. He has a nice mid-range jumper. And that makes Dyckman very effective on the offensive end.
Theodore going to clear it out and take his time as Dyckman looks to maybe eat some clock here and end this game early, and that'll help Mason from deep. They call it a 3. One referee signaled the 3. Off the steal, Theodore had the steal, tried to behind the back dribble, ended up losing it. X-Men grabbed it back. Yanni can't get that to go. Eddie grabbed it for a second, now the other way, Dyckman. 3-on-1 with Mason, he can't control it. Bouncing ball that just won't get in his hands, and finally it does. No travel or double dribble called.
I don't know if there's something wrong with the ball, Dan, but on the opposite end, they struggled to pick it up. And the whole way down the floor, they struggled to pick the ball up. Maybe the ball's wet, but it didn't matter. It worked. But at this stage of the game, we spoke about fouling. I would call the fouling off and let the game play out.
Seems like it's a lead that perhaps is too insurmountable right now for X-Men. 128-103, so it's a 25-point lead for Dyckman. We're past the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Theodore for 3, no good. Dell grabs the offensive rebound and gets fouled on the putback.
So Adela gets the offensive rebound there. He's showing his defensive presence with the blocks. And yes, going to Cody had a quiet 12 points, so that reflects back on Dyckman's versatility and deepness they bring in to the game. And shows how, after this week, they have the same guys come in. They may rotate some scorers, but they are very deep.
Dell adds the second, makes the 26-point game.
So when they play the University of Pittsburgh Ball, show with the basketball.
Eddie from the corner. Three is so good. Nice flying it in, put back there by Annie. Got to give him credit. He's been everywhere this game, doing it on offense and defense.
Swing over the Holland, step back, step back, not this time.
James grabs the rebound, passes ahead to Annie, a little too far in front of him, but he still controlled it and got the layup to go.
Nice shot by Ianni, bringing the ball back and banking it off the glass to make it a 22-point game. Ianni showed last week he knocked down the three. He showed it a little today, but he's very aggressive on the offensive glass. He creates tips and he can lay the ball in.
Della from the corner, 8 hits. Dyckman getting it from everywhere. Everybody kind of making their shots, pitching in. They're at 131 now with less than 3 minutes left.
Once again, June 14, 6:30 p.m. New York Lightning, they will be playing the champ, Bingo All-Stars, who are undefeated. 6:30 and take no prisoners.
6:30 Thursday night, rather. It'll be Bingo's and the Lightning. Bingo 3-0. New York Lightning 2-1. Sean Bell also in action Thursday night. They're the other undefeated team. After this game is over, Dyckman will even up at 2-2. Big Apple basketball got the win in the first game of tonight, of our doubleheader. That was their first win of the season. They're 1-3. Prime time is 2-2. X-Men will be 1-3.
So very tight outside of Bingo and Sean Bell, who met for last year's championship game.
So you kind of have your two teams at the top, and then basically at least 5 of the 6. TMP also at 0-3. They'll be in action Thursday night, but at least 5 of the remaining 6 teams will all be competing. There'll be 5 teams for 2 spots.
And the nice part about the 1-3 team, you're 1-3. You don't have the best 4 weeks, but you're only a game out of the playoffs. So you regroup, you take care of business, and you have a shot. And the nice part about the 4-game playoff format, 1-game elimination, you get hot
at the right time.
You could spring things together, and you can walk away with a subpar regular season, but still walk away with the crown.
If not, chop it up, put some dressing on it,
and come back next year.
And eat it with a sandwich, because you'd be Gargonzola.
Another great effort by Ianni on the glass. Ianni played pro in Egypt during the 2014-15 season.
After his career at St. Francis.
Yes, he was a Terrier. He's not the only Terrier on the floor. Josh Holland was a Boston University Terrier.
Correct.
A lot of Terriers.
.132, 108, 143 left in this one. But for all intents and purposes, it's over. Of course, we'll have Brian Fonseca on the sideline after this one's over to talk to the player of the game, Pat McCormick. Be a betting man and tell us who you think Brian Fonseca will be talking to after the game.
Mason.
I'm going to say Theodore.
They go by numbers, and Mason kept him going in.
I have been wrong more than I've been right.
The SEC against the Big East or the MAC.
Just playing out the string here. Dyckman with the control. Stout for 3.
Marcus Stout's range has come to be in the second half.
This could be big for Marcus Stout. I mean, he struggled. He may tell you he's struggled so far in this season at this league. And maybe this game's the game that gets him started. He's seen the ball go through the rim for him a lot tonight.
And he showed he could score in college. He's 6th on the Rams all-time list.
The Fordham Rams.
Yes. 3 Rams in the A-10. VCU, Rhode Island, and the other Rams, Colorado State.
They're not in the A-10.
No, but the other Rams, as in we named the 3 of them. So we talked about Terriers and Rams and oh my.
I guess that's it.
On the game with 23 seconds left.
23 seconds. We're still on the clock, but we've decided that this one's over. So a game that was basically controlled by Dyckman from the very start. John Holland scoring the first 8 points for them very quickly, and they really never looked back. Dyckman beating X-Men in Game 2 of our Tuesday night doubleheader as Dyckman improves to 2-2, and X-Men falls to 1-3.
Yeah, great effort. Dyckman showed what they were going to do right off the bat, turn defense into offense. John Holland set the tone. Anton Mason came back. Jordan Theodore, all guys with 20-plus points today. And then you had the role guys in Tyrandella and Marcus Stout. Great overall effort by Dyckman in the win. And they even up to 2-2 after a heartbreaking loss last week to primetime.
We have our Brian Fonseca on the sideline with the player of the game, and that is Antoine Mason.
I'm joined now by Antoine Mason, who got a big win and was a big part of that big win today. What worked for you guys overall tonight?
Just pushing the ball. You don't want to just settle down and run half court all the time. So when you get the opportunity to push the ball, you take advantage of it. So when we got the rebounds, we just pushed it.
You guys scored over 130 points offensively. So everything was just pretty much firing on all cylinders. How important is it to really carry this moving forward as the season progresses?
Oh, it's really important, especially if you have 2 losses already. You're trying to finish out the season with wins and get the momentum for the playoffs.
What could you say about, defensively? You did allow 111 points yourself.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we took the gas off in the 4th quarter, which isn't good. You want to finish strong. That way, like we said, it leads to the next game. So we just got to correct some mistakes and just move on and enjoy this win.
So at 2-2, where do you think this leaves you now? Does this leave you in maybe a good place moving forward?
Yeah, it's a race. Everybody's gonna lose a game, but you just got to make sure every game you take advantage of the opportunity. We didn't take advantage of last week. We should have won, and we just wanted to make sure that we had a clear-cut win today.
Thanks again. Congratulations on the win, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. So, Pat, it's a win for Dyckman after that tough loss in double overtime last week that Antoine Mason, of course, just referred to. Delroy James, the game's leading scorer for X-Men. He had 43. Coyote Ayeni had 31 for X-Men. But for the winners, it's 39 points for Antoine Mason on 15 of 20 shooting. 29 for Jordan Theodore, 20 for John Holland, 15 for Tarantella, 10 for Marcus Stout. I mean, that right there, your starters, all of them in double figures, led by Mason with nearly 40. That's why you win.
That's what you have to do. And the nice defensive effort by Della, too. But right there, 5 guys in double figures, 3 guys really showing they could score no matter where they were on the floor, whether they're shooting the 3 or attacking the hoop. And when you go up against 2 guys who have 40 and 30 points, they had a great effort, but you need the supporting cast, and the X-Men didn't have that today. You heard Mason say Dyckman took their foot off the gas on the 4th quarter. That's something they have to work on. But when you build up a 30-plus point lead like that, that's something you can do. And it's a great overall effort by Dyckman to get to 500 today.
So to wrap it up in our 2 games this Tuesday night, Big Apple basketball gets their first win in Game 1. They beat Prime Time. And in Game 2 that you just saw, Dyckman, 135. X-Men, 111. That is Week 4's Tuesday night from Nike Pro City 2016 here at Baruch College. Thank you for watching. Backpack Broadcasting.
Looking for a ride after the game? Well, Lyft has Nike Pro City viewers covered with Rides on Tap. Download the Lyft